Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Iwanina binti Munirawat with metric number AE180080. I will demonstrate on busbar coupling. In this activity, LVSB is assumed to be maintaining, so the power supply on MSB1 need to be cut off, but somehow there is load that need to be run at the time. So we will get the supply from the incoming MSB2 power supply by doing busbar coupling. First, we need to take out the ACB for maintenance purpose. So how to take out the ACB? First, turn off all the load at MSB1, starting with load with small rating power to load with bigger rating power. But before that, we need to inform the consumer that the power supply is going to be cut off. Then, we need to turn off power factor capacity bank. After that, check the current status at ammeter to verify the presence of power supply. The current supposed to be in 0 ampere because there is no current flow after we cut off the power factor capacity bank and the load. Next, turn off ACB by pushing the red button until this change to green color. Next, check the busbar supply indicator. The indicator should show the off state as it's shown that the busbar has been de-energized. Next is turn off the incoming power supply of MSB1. The MSB1 now is fully de-energized. Next, to remove ACB, hold the release button and put the racking handle into insertion hole. Rotate the racking handle anti-clockwise until it stays to isolated condition. Okay, now SB is disconnected from the busbar. Then we can take out the SB and place to a suitable place to do the maintenance. Put the maintenance signage to notify people that the SCB is under maintenance. Then we can proceed to do the maintenance process. For busbar coupling process, first, we need to take out the ACB key by holding the red button and rotate the key anti-clockwise at the same time. Place the key at MSB1 and rotate to clockwise to get the C1 key and C2 key. For the C1 key is used for the C1 isolator on MSB1 and the C2 key for isolator on MSB2. Next, we have to turn on C2 isolator at MSB2 to supply the power, and also turn on C1 isolator at MSB1 to receive power supply from MSB2. Okay, next is check the busbar indicator supply of MSB1 to know either the load is ready to be used or not. So now, power load at MSB1 and MSB2 is supplied from incoming MSB2. So, how to supply the load, the power, the load to the consumer? First, we need to turn on power factor capacity bank. But before that, make sure consumer is ready to get the power supply. Then, turn on the load that need to be operated at that time. Then, lastly, the load is ready to consume by consumer.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatima and I will demonstrate about the activity 1, turn on the LVSB. Before we doing that, we have to follow the safety guide that have been given. We have to make sure there's fire extinguisher, there's a first aid kit, there's singlet diagram, and there's a rubber mat in front of the LVSB, and we have to update the logbook, and we have to bring the necessary equipment. First, before we start the experiment, we have to make sure that all the switch on the LVSB is turned off. So first, we have to turn on this supply for the MSB1, and then when we have turned on it, we can check here if there's a light. That means there's incoming supply for the MSB1. Then to connect the ACB into the boost bar, at here, First, we have to use the charging handle and insert the charging handle here at this slot, and we have to turn the handle in clockwise until the at here there's an it's it show isolated, so we have to turn the handle until it changed to connected. Next, to turn on the ACB, we have to charge the coil here. So in order to charge the coil, we have to pull this handle up and down until it change until it charge the coil, and it will show charging at here. It will show charging here. After that, we can see at here the boost bar will light on. That means there's a supply in the boost bar, and it will supply to the consumer here. Then we can turn all of the switch here, but before we turn on it, or we have to inform them before turning on for the safety guide. After we turn on the switch, we can see our current here. At here, we can see the current system here. After all these steps have been followed, that means our MSB1 have been turned on. Or so we have to turn on the MSB2. Here is the switch for the supply for MSB2. We can turn it on, and the step to turn on the MSB2 is same as how we turn on the MSB1. We just have to repeat the same step. So in conclusion, after we turn on MSB1 and MSB2, when we turn on the MSB1 here, it will supply to the load 1 here, and when we turn on the MSB2, it will supply to the load 2 here. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuri Syahada bin Musa. My matric number is AE180105. So today I will explain about the normal supply pre-start for the LVSB system and operation. Okay, before we start all the operation process, we actually need to wear the suitable clothes or PPE. We also need to wear the glove, okay, as shown in the picture here. And then for the first step, we need to inform to our consumer that we want to turn off the supply. After they are ready, okay, then we can proceed to the maintenance process. Okay, the first maintenance process is we have to turn off all the load supply and also the capacitor, power factor capacitor bank. So the load supply is here and the capacitor bank is here. So we turn off 1, 2, 3, 4, and also turn off for the power factor capacitor bank. Okay, after that, we check the current status. You can check the current status at here. We can check the current status where it should be 0 ampere because there is no current flow at this condition. And then we go to the isolator 1 at MSB1. This is isolator 1. We turn on the isolator 1, and then we can check the bus bar. It's already re-energized. Okay, next we go to the isolator 2. Here is isolator 2 at MSB2. Okay, we remove the key. We turn on it first, and then we remove the key. We place it to the MSB1 here. As you guys can see, there are 3 places for key. 1, 2, 3, top, middle, bottom. And for the key 2, we place it on the top. Alright, and then we go to the isolator 1 back. We pull the key, and then we place the key at the bottom. And then in the middle, the RCB key. We pull it and we place it to the ACB. ACB is here. We pull it at the. We place the ACB key at here, and then we turn it clockwise to unlock, to make sure it is in unlock condition. Okay, so right now ACB is in isolated condition. Okay, after that, we need to give the MSB1 the power supply first from the isolator. Okay, from the isolator 1, we just press it as shown in the video. Dr. Nafis just press it to turn on the power supply for MSB1. Right now, the incoming MSB1 is already have power supply, so we can check the voltage. The way that we can check the voltage is shown here. Okay. Next, by using the charging handler, we can get is by we open the ACB, and then it placed behind the ACB. I will show the picture later. Okay, so by using the charging handler, alright, I design as a fan. I will put here, and you have to turn it clockwise. Okay, turn it clockwise until the LCB indicator at the connect position. Okay, it will shown here. It will shown here at the connect position. Okay, and then we have to, after it receive the connect position, we have to remove and save it in the original place. Alright, so right now the LCB is in discharge and also off position. Okay, we have to do charging process. For charging process, we have to pull up and down the charging activator here. Okay, as you guys can see the white color inside here, we can put it down, up and down to charge it until it show as the condition charge. It will show here also. And then ASB now is in charge position. So now we can turn on the LCD by pushing the green button. Okay, the green button will show here. Okay, this is the green button. We just can turn on it. Alright, and then after that we check the bus bar status and also the voltage, whether it is in a balanced condition or not. Okay, you can check it here, the voltage and also the bus bar status. Okay, then we need, after all is done, we need to notify the consumer, and then when they give feedback that they are ready, then we need to turn on the capacitor bank first. Okay, after we have received feedback that they are ready, and then we have to turn on the capacitor bank first. This is the capacitor bank, power factor capacitor bank. After that, we turn on all the load supply, and then we can check our current status. We can check in here also, same as the voltage. We have to wait for a while, wait until all in stable condition. After done all the maintenance process, we can remove the signage. Okay, as you can see, there is signage here. And then we can proceed. After done all the maintenance charging, we can proceed to record all our work that we have done in the light book. The light book will place here. Okay, so I will show the things that are not shown in the picture in this video later. Thank you. That's all for me.